Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is wealth and poverty. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a few years ago, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will interrupt myself and give you the most recent information. At the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Wealth and poverty. A while ago, I read a travel blog post responding to a comment criticizing the blogger. The commenter said that you can do all this traveling because you're a rich American. Think about the people in the countries where you're staying. That red cap at the airport, that busboy at the restaurant, this desk clerk at the hotel. They aren't able to travel. The blogger responded saying to the effect that he'd rather hold a vision where everyone is able to travel. And I also read that this guy only makes $40,000 a year, which is pretty modest by US standards. Someone posted on Facebook an article to make affluence history, that the only way to end poverty is to end affluence, then listed a bunch of suggestions on how you could do that, including telling your boss to cap your salary, skimp on consumption, and make a low-tech bracelet from an old bicycle tire. The problem is the people who would follow those suggestions aren't affluent to begin with. They're actually poverty-conscious ideas. You don't raise vibration by bringing another vibration down. And with the current economy, it's bizarre that an article like this would come out when so many in the US are experiencing poverty. Maybe not bizarre, just reflecting the mass poverty consciousness that's being projected right now. The energy of poverty is contraction. It's held in a tight, constricted feeling. Everything is seen through the lens of limitation. When you're poor, it feels like being hunched down, like squatting in a position for a very long time. Getting out of poverty can be painful. Standing up after squatting for a while can hurt. The energy of wealth is expansion. It feels like freedom, like release. Everything is seen through the eyes of possibility. When you're truly wealthy, and more on that in a moment, you feel generous and giving. You feel like anything is possible. Now, there's an aspect of being wealthy that's the opposite of the description I just gave. There's a level of being wealthy where you're disconnected from your feelings. You have all the right material and social status, so you must be happy. There's distorted wealth, where you can't emphasize or feel compassionate towards others. A distorted wealth perception is that that person is homeless because they're not working hard enough, or that person doesn't have health insurance because they're too lazy to get it. Distorted wealth is unconscious, but distorted poverty is as well. Distorted poverty wants everyone to be down at their level. They judge and feel resentful of rich people. If someone they know gets a raise or starts to do better, they assume that person's going to be a snob. Under-earning is an aspect of distorted poverty. Tolerating a low hourly wage or accepting a less than market level fee for one's services because of the economy, because people can't afford it, because I'm spiritual, is distorted thinking. Being poor is not noble or spiritual. Now, there are people without much money who are happy. There are villages in India and Africa with few material resources who, if measured by their open-heartedness, their connection to family, their awareness of spirit, are wealthy. There are people with vast amounts of money who are miserable. They're concerned with having enough in their account for an entire year and are more focused on their portfolio than the actual quality of their lives. Not all rich people are unconscious. Warren Buffett is encouraging other billionaires, by example, to give most of their fortune away. Richard Branson is an example of endless fun and enthusiasm and continuous creativity. Melinda French Gates is using her Microsoft billions to help raise up women. And Mackenzie Scott is using her billions in acts of tremendous philanthropy. Now, from the perspective of Source, there is no good or bad to being rich or poor. It's all an example of our spiritual creativity. As spirit, we created this planet of dichotomies to experience the opposite of who we are. From Spirit's viewpoint, it's fun to roll around in effort. We get excited by the challenges of limitation because our essence knows it's all a game. The more challenges you create in your life, the more spiritually creative you are. Essence doesn't take any of this very seriously because, hey, in the blink of an eye, this storyline will end and poof, we'll create a whole new storyline to act out in. If you go back to the essential qualities of wealth and poverty, they're simply energy patterns. Wealth is expansion and freedom, and poverty is contraction and limitation. How do you break out of a limiting pattern so that you can experience more expansion? It starts by seeing a bigger picture of your life. It takes stepping out of your comfort zone because what is familiar isn't always functional. The energy of abundance is appreciation. Whenever you pay for something, you're expressing appreciation for it. Whenever you receive payment for something, you're receiving appreciation for it. Think about that the next time you pay your bills. Don't you really appreciate the things you purchased with that card? Isn't it great to have a place to live and electricity and water? Wasn't that a really delicious meal at that restaurant? Rising out of poverty patterns takes appreciation too. Wow, I am so capable. I created this really complex storyline so that I can't afford Christmas presents this year. It's going to sound great when I write my memoir. Wow, my not having a job is really uncomfortable. I get to let go of the illusion of being this kind of career person. How fun it is to step out of the limitation of 8 to 5, 50 weeks a year and into a realm of new possibilities. Appreciation is one step towards increasing your own experience of wealth. I enjoy a feeling visualization as well. Abraham Hicks says that prosperity is all around us, like Niagara Falls, but most of us are standing around with just teaspoons. Think of the powerful flow of Niagara Falls, the ionized air around it. Imagine that energy flowing into the top of your head and throughout your aura. Imagine your space filled with this energy. Let its high vibration disintegrate any limitations. What this is doing is raising your vibration so you can have more, you can receive more in your life. In order to have more money or anything, you have to expand your ability to have it. Sometimes the technique for increasing money is to start spending it. There's a misunderstanding to this idea. On one level, expressing appreciation with money is telling the universe that you trust more is going to flow in. But some people compulsively spend everything they have and then nothing comes in because acting compulsively comes from a poverty consciousness. They're spending from fear, not generosity. The idea of tithing is more in alignment because giving a small portion of what's coming in towards things that you support spiritually and emotionally is expressing appreciation towards source. It's like leaving the universe a tip for services rendered. Now, what happens for some people is that they increase their monetary intake and immediately their expenses increase because what flows in must flow out, right? Instead of seeing Niagara Falls flowing in and then rushing right out again, imagine it flowing into a pool. And that way your money can pool around you and you can siphon out whatever you need. You can do this visualization remotely as well. If there are relatives or communities you're concerned about, imagine Niagara Falls for them as well. Play with these ideas this week. Notice when you're feeling contracted or limited. Allow yourself to breathe in and expand. Use the Niagara Falls and pooling visualizations whenever you feel like it. Gift others with visualization as well. And try this for a week and see what happens. And leave a comment below. I'd love to read your comments. I think the only other thing that I would add to this is that I've had times of being like independently wealthy and then I've times of not being able to afford toilet paper. The thing I noticed for myself in being independently wealthy, it was a very expansive experience, not very grounded. But the other thing is it made me less conscious in a weird kind of way. So I was less considerate of other people experiencing density. On the other hand, when I couldn't afford toilet paper, I was pretty darn resentful of those rich people. So this is all about coming into balance. And honestly, the thing that I do discover is that when I am truly in alignment as consciousness, I may not have big numbers in my bank account, but I am living a prosperous life that is wealthy in relationship and rich in experiences. So that's something to notice for yourself as well. Don't compare yourself to Microsoft millionaires or Google millionaires, but notice the abundance that already exists in your own life. So if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends, and also click the like button and subscribe. And that way you're telling YouTube to share this far and wide and get this out to someone who really needs to see it. If you'd like a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the Skybox technique. It'll give you an expanded perspective of your life and some ideas towards wealth and poverty. Now, if you'd like some manifestation techniques, I have a self-study course, Manifesting Money and Miracles, that works with these energetic techniques and helps you increase those things in your life. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can find out about my individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and I can answer any questions that you might have, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and I give you specially selected consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. And you can find out more at my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.